Hello, my name is Eli, and I play under the name Naveronasis, and this is my first Minecraft video. So we're trying to drum up some support and get maybe a few players in on our server. We play under the default rules with no mods or texture packs or anything like that, just under regular survival mode. So you gotta dig all your own resources. Where I'm standing now, this is kind of where you would come into our server if you were to spawn. And so this is just going to be a little tour of the nerve center. So eventually there's going to be signs explaining like the server rules and things. Not that there's a lot of rules or anything. But if you check it out, we got like a little bridge here. You can see over to the rock quarry. We'll get to that in a minute. And over here is our visitor center. This area is kind of set up for players to relax, to come like hang out. It's kind of the meeting place. Well, the rock quarry usually ends up being the meeting place because it's the productivity center, but in any case, so here you can see this is our nice little area. We got a creeper hole to repair. For the purposes of this video, I turned creatures off, but usually they're on. A little lagoon. Come into the visitor center. We got a side entrance here. Here you can see is our visitor center. Eventually there's going to be lots of signs in here that are going to detail how the server works. But for the meantime, we got a glass ceiling. Here we are in our observatory in this area, out on this lake, and I'm probably going to construct this sometime today, so but you get a chance to see it before it's there. I'm going to put little buoys out in the lake so that people can race boats around for something to do if they get tired of building stuff. But who gets tired of building stuff? I mean, honestly. Alright, so this is just, just a cool area to come hang out. Like I said, there's going to be some signs. I'll probably build a learning center somewhere nearby that players can go and discover how to build certain things, so basic tools and whatnot. Outside here, we have our nice little lagoon. Again, another lagoon, a little lake up top. We got a glass floor in there, as you can see into the visitor center. Out there you can kind of see our Colossus that we built. We'll probably build him bigger later, and we'll probably build him out of cooler materials. But for now, he's just made out of stone because things... Cow's getting in my ear. Because things, like gold and whatnot aren't so easy to come by in large quantities. But that's going to be a big project later, is to build a fancy Colossus, probably out of more valuable materials. So... one of the things to keep in mind if you get lost is you can build a compass. And if you can build a compass, it'll take you to 0, 0. If you do, you might see this fancy bridge here. It'll take you to this shack over here, and you can always follow the bridge back to civilization. The road's not completely finished yet. That's another project we're working on. Probably done in a couple of hours here. It'll take you over to the visitor center. So, once you're done hanging out at the main lobby, one of the things to keep in mind is that the area around the visitor center is just like the hillside that you can see facing it in all directions is kind of reserved for the visitor center and anything we decide to do. The rest of the server is pretty much fair game as long as you're not destroying someone else's stuff. I mean, you should probably try not to build too close to someone unless they want you to, but for the most part, it's all fair game. So out here we have the rock quarry. There's our Colossus, kind of a big landmark, so you can kind of find your way back to the rock quarry. The boathouse. The rock quarry has been mined out for large projects and is probably going to get much, much bigger. This is pretty much where we are pulling all of our rock out of for our castles and pyramids and everything. So it kind of serves as a nerve center. Over here is the community storage. Players can put stuff in here that they don't care if people use, and they can grab it up. Now there's 3 rooms dedicated to raw materials. You can tell by the back wall. This is the stone room, the dirt room, the gravel room, and this one just has a plain wall, and it's for anything. Eventually there's going to be signs outside of each room detailing what their purpose is. Coming up here, we have our train station. Right now, we have 2 trains up and running. This one leads out to the Doom Fortress, which is going to get its own video when it's done. It's almost done. It's pretty cool. And this one takes us down into the community mine. really, the eventual purpose of this is to lead out to the area where Dan is building, but for now, it leads down to the community mine, and there's a small train station down there that lets you junction into his stuff. But the train tunnel, of course, unravel a whole mass of resources that anyone can gain access to. Right here's our incinerator for chucking things that you don't want. Not that we implore the destruction of materials, but sometimes you just have too much slime or too much gravel, and how useful is gravel really? We chuck it in the incinerator to free up some space. Up here is our farm area. Feel free to use this to grow all of your goods. This way here. This is kind of one of my areas up here. This is my little office. But for the most part, I keep these chests empty except for when I'm working in the area, which I am at the moment. Back here is off limits. I'll probably move this to a more secure location, but this is my personal storage area here. So there's all kinds of goodies in there that would be appreciated if you didn't get into them. Because yeah, each player should set up their own kind of house and have their own storage as well, and that'll be respected, or people will get banned. So far we have a pretty good community here, no one really bothers anyone. Up here is our tree farm. Now you can feel free to mine trees anywhere you want. However, we did set up this area to fast grow trees and pretty much clear cut and then rebuild constantly. Kind of a preservation act. We were originally going to clear cut this whole hillside. We dedicated it for materials gathering, but it was getting too big. So we created a tree farm to kind of keep the mass destruction limited for our renewable resources. Over in the background here, you can see Mount Hollow. It's called Mount Hollow because it actually is hollow. It's the biggest frickin' cave I've ever seen. It's also the tallest mountain we've found so far. It's the only mountain that actually has land, not just trees, but land above the cloud layer on the back side of it there. And that's pretty much it. That's the center of our server here. The server rules are pretty much don't bother other people's stuff and rebuild creeper holes if you blow one in someone else's things on accident, because you know how creepers just love to hang out. I guess one other little rule is don't leave floating trees. Try to cut down all the wood. But other than that, pretty much fair game. Of course, no cheating, and there's no special server admins. Everyone has to build things the legitimate way. But yeah. So if you guys want to come hang out and build some cool stuff with some purists here that are just playing Minecraft the Minecraft way, go ahead and leave a comment or hit me up on AOL, Yahoo, at Naveronasis. It's the same as my username. You can see up above the video, Naveronasis. Or like I said, just leave a comment and I'll get to talking to you and see if we can do something together. Alright. Signing off.